destroy his opponent with Mindslaver and then just somehow win.
Mindslaver could be good.
Mindslaver
very good.
Mindslaver is one of the really powerful cards for this matchup.
Sylvan Scrying's for Cloud Post.
I mean, one of the really scary things for Nassif is that he has to do one or the other pretty quickly, or he's going to get burned right out. I mean, he has no threats that Kuroda is forced to answer with his.
There's
burn
a lot
spells.
of burn in Kuroda's deck. What's the run it down? What does
he
it?
has 4 Shrapnel Blast, 4 Barbed Lightning, 4 Pulse of the Forge, and 4 Fireball, along with arc-sloggers and detonates, all of which can do damage right to the face.
He just pointed 1 Pulse of the Forge at Nassif. Nassif down to 16.
Nope.
Nassif's got Cloud Post number 1. Really needs a second one for that engine to kick in. At least a second one. What are those, Mirage Forests he's playing?
I don't
Sorry, I guess our shot just has the Talisman. But.
No, they're not Mirage. The Mirage didn't have the big mana symbol.
Is that right?
Yeah, the big mana symbol was first in Portal.
All right.
The first expansion it was in. I don't remember the first expansion it was in. I remember I always used to play with Portal lands because they look cooler because of the big mana symbol.
I think the big mana symbol looks cool too.
Although the unglued lands are really nice.
Sure.
So here, early turns of the game still. Nassif.
Yeah, I think this is a big turn for Nassif. He got his
Figuring out
Talisman,
what
he
to do.
he got Scry for Cloud Post, but now he needs to start doing something. He can't sit down all day.
Scries for
All right,
other
and there's Sylvan Scrying. So he's got 2 Cloud Posts. That's enough to start bringing Mindslaver into play, Tooth and Nail. His big cards will become relevant. And there's no land destruction in Kuroda's main deck, right?
No, he has a lot of. He actually doesn't even have much artifact kill. He has 4 detonates and damping matrices.
Yeah, main deck Damping Matrix was interesting. It seemed like most of the big red decks just had a bunch of artifact removal, but Kuroda said, nah, I'm just going to have Damping
It's
Matrix.
like I just want to shut them all down.
Right.
Which seems better when you really look at it.
Main deck Damping Matrix is really good against Skull Clamp. I think that's an excellent Skull Clamp answer.
Absolutely. His deck is much worse against Mirror Enforcer.
Yo.
But it's
Sure.
much better against Arcbound Ravager and Skull Clamp
Sure.
than the other red decks.
Well, and it's Ravager and Skull Clamp are the cards you care about.
Well, I mean, you
Mirror
can.
Enforcer's just
you
like a
can, I mean,
4/4
you could
dork.
just get killed by Mirror Enforcer.
You need block him with arc-slogger.
I mean, absolutely. But I mean, it's the various plans that the Affinity deck has. The scariest one is the Ravager Skull Clamp plan.
Yep.
But I mean, you can still just die to the Mirror Enforcer plan. But Damping Matrix does shut down the scariest of the
Entwine, Reap and Sow. So Nassif is going to blow up a mountain and go get Cloud Post number 3, presumably. It's not bad.
Entwine the Reap and Sow.
I mean,
It's like Frenzied Tilling, but better.
the big red deck is kind of mana hungry.
It is, absolutely.
So I actually remember during playtesting what Reap and Sow was originally costed as Frenzied Tilling. It was 3 and 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like, this is Frenzied Tilling was a good card, guys.
Yeah.
You really want to do something that's just better than Frenzied Tilling? And no. Sanity prevailed, and the card is still unconstructed. So I think I'm glad we added that
Yeah.
6th mana.
Yeah. The 5/6 jump is a pretty big mana jump.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it were 5 mana, this deck would be a lot better.
It was just annoying to have so much random land destruction in the format.
Yeah.
What we found in playtesting.
Oh, it was 3 to cast, kill a land.
No, I think it was 4 and 1.
It's 4 and 1.
It was 4 and 1. But I mean, it made it good enough that you would play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the right cost. That's why we test the cards. So Kuroda has dished out some burn, interestingly.
Nassif's at 8? Is that right? He's taken 3 pulses? Dear me.
Pulse, pulse, pulse.
He's actually not far from just being dead.
Blowing up that land helps, though. It takes
Yeah.
Fireball.
Fireball, it's much less scary,
Holds Arc-slogger at bay for a little while, too.
which is also very important.
And he's getting Cloud Post number 3, presumably. I mean, maybe there's something weird going on and he's getting a Nexus or a Stalking Sense. He's actually thinking a lot longer than I was expecting him to think. It
Well, I mean-
seemed like Cloud Post number 3 is the right land to get.
Generally speaking, that's certainly correct. It depends what he has in his hand. I mean, if he has nothing to abuse the mana with, he might want to Stalking Stones just to start attacking.
He gets Cloud Post.
Yeah, Cloud Post.
That gives him 3 Cloud Posts, so that's 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. He's got 12 mana, I believe. 13.
It's so absurd how much mana the Jack can generate.
13. So everything is online. He can Tooth and Nail with Entwine. He can Mindslaver and activate it. He can hard cast Darksteel Colossus. We'll find out next turn.
Draw.
All I know is it's got to be something kind of quick. 3 Pulses of the Forges have dropped him all the way to 8.
And
Kuroda plays a 4th land again and says go.
don't
Nope.
tap your talisman for colored mana. I wonder what he gets if he entwines Tooth and Nail here. Probably Angel of Boonus. Although I don't know.
Three mana. 4,
5,
5, 6.
Slaver.
Sounds like a slaver.
Entwine.
Oh.
Oh, another Reap and Sow. He's playing land destruction mode.
To you.
And Barbed Lightning.
Kuroda 20.
Nassif down to 5 now.
That's some burn to the face. Dear me.
This isn't supposed to work, right?
That's some
Just
quick damage.
4 to you, 4 to you, 4 to you, 3 to you. Nassif's in green too. He could have. There's got to be some life gain card he could have.
I mean, he could have Nourish, but
Nourish?
he doesn't. He got a Stalking Stones. He's still got a lot of mana left too.
He can activate it. It's got Summoning Sickness, so he can't attack. But
Well, he still has
Go.
7 mana left over. He go.
7 mana go. So Nassif's draw appears to have all the mana he needs, but nothing to really abuse it with. He needs to draw Tooth and Nail in a hurry.
How many cards? 4.
Kuroda actually might just want to drop Damping Matrix here if he has it, to stop a potential Mindslaver. As strange as it might seem.
Is that the only effect Damping Matrix has on the match? It doesn't
Yes.
hurt any of his cards.
Well,
Might as well.
It hurts arc-slogger actually.
2.
Fireball you
Fireball
for 2.
you for 2.
Nassif just smiles.
Your turn.
That's not a good sign. Fireball you for 2. So Nassif's down to 3, and a million cards kill him next turn. He draws a card, and he just kind of smiles and shrugs. Is that
Burn you, burn
is
you,
that the
burn you.
patented "I'm so lucky" smirk that Gabriel has on his face from time to time?
Take. Kuroda
Or the
17,
bemused,
Nash
I
3.
can't believe I have 27 mana and nothing to do with it smile.
Three. Oblivion Stone.
Yeah, that's an Oblivion
Doesn't
Stone.
do anything.
That does nothing.
Go.
Land Fireball. Pulse number 4. Barbed Lightning.
Land Shrapnel. Almost any
Artifact.
card.
Artifact Shrapnel Blast.
Yeah. Nassif needs a spell that does something. Yep.
Damping
There's
Matrix. Oh, which randomly turns off the Oblivion Stone.
Yeah.
Not that the stone was doing a whole lot. It's an artifact to sack to Shrapnel Blast,
Yep.
though. Sne- Nassif knew he needed something there, but I don't think he got it.
I mean, if he has an Oxidize or anything, he can stop the Shrapnel Blast threat from next turn.
Well, he does have Shaman and Oxidize in his hand, actually. But,
Kai Buddha has joined us in the booth. Welcome, Kai.
hey guys.
Sit a little closer to the mic, please. Let the viewers at home hear you. So what were you saying?
I saw Nassif saying that he actually does have Oxidize and Shaman, but the rest of his hand is all lands. Like, he kept a very mana-heavy draw and didn't get rewarded with any spells.
It's true.
So it seems like he's got to attack and Shaman here. I mean, unless he drew any sort of powerful effect. He's
But-
counting up his mana here, so...
Yeah, he's counting his mana. He might have something now. Tooth and Nail seems like it would be game.
It'd be very difficult for Kuroda to come back from a Tooth and Nail here. I mean, he'd have to... I mean, if he got Angel of Boonus... mean, Kuroda's only way to remove the bonus would be a shrapnel blast, and at that point he'd be really far behind.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4 does indeed shame in the damping matrix.
5, 6,
Floating.
7.
Oh, it's only a
Solemn simulacrum. That's not super exciting.
Well,
He
he,
might
he
actually-
may actually blow up Oblivion Stone.
He might actually
draw a card?
oxidize the
Yeah.
simulacrum just to draw a card.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Because
oxidize, not
3
not
life
this.
is not
One.
a lot.
All right. So he attacks with Stalking Stones.
Take Kuroda 14. That's
Yeah, I
3.
think the play is actually
Oxidizes-
oxidize my ends here.
He'd only have
so
8 mana,
go.
though. Because he attacked with the Stalking Stones. Oh, there's the 4th mana.
And there's the
Now
artifact he
Fireball's
No.
lead. There's the artifact he needs for the Shrapnel Blast, or...
And he doesn't seem to be dead yet.
wow.
Well, he actually he doesn't want to use his oxidize now probably because he wants to be able to save it to kill the Blinkmoth Nexus.
needs. But right now we're in a top decking war. Nassif needs Tooth and Nail,
Yeah.
Platinum Angel, and Kuroda needs one of 30 some
Yeah, it's
cards.
It's not quite 30, but...
Almost every card
What?
is there.
Barbed Lightning.
Shrapnel Blast, Barbed
Shrapnel
Lightning,
Blast.
Pulse, or Fireball. All
4
of them
mana for...
for the win.
There's Solemn Simulacrum. So none of the kill cards in Kuroda's hand. Nassif probably a
do
little
you-
surprised to get another turn.
Do you blow the stone here and just try and get a card off your Yens? I don't know.
3.
It gives Kuroda a card, but
think
you could
so.
protect the shame and then build a stone during his turn. You still have enough mana to cast Tooth and Nail then.
true. But I mean, then Mindslaver would be. Well, can he still play and activate Mindslaver then?
Go.
Mindslaver would be.
End of your turn.
Well, he's got only 2 Mindslavers mainly, so.
All right, so
Well, I mean, that
end of
ups his
turn,
outs.
Nassif gets to save something. What's it going to be?
Well, that-
Okay. Yeah.
So I mean, if he
What would
so
you
he saves
protect
his
here?
shaman here.
He's going for Shaman?
Yeah.
All right, Nassif untaps. He's going to get a draw phase, and then presumably he's going to blow up his own Yens to get a second draw phase. Really needs Tooth and Nail or Platinum Angel.
Doesn't seem too unhappy. I mean, if he draws Mindslaver too, he can oxidize, attack, Mindslaver you, attack and win.
Mindslaver seems to be good.
Yeah, Mindslaver or Tooth and Nail wins the game.
He's
Yeah.
about to tap 6 mana there, I think.
That looks like 6 mana.
All right, so Nassif's board is...
That looks like 10 mana. No, that looks like 11. I don't know.
Maybe he drew Colossus.
Just cast Colossus.
Nassif's got an activated Stalking Stones, a Solemn Simulacrum, a Viridian Shaman with a Fate counter on it, and an Oblivion Stone. The real news, though, is he's only got 3 life, and he's playing against a burn deck.
5.
He blows up the stone.
Same.
Solemn Simulacrum dies. He loses his Talisman. Both players get to draw a card. Stalking Stones live through it because it's a land. Viridian Shaman lives through it because it's got a Fate counter on it.
Which should go away now.
No lands.
The counter should be gone from the
Yeah,
shaman,
the Fate
but-
counter should be gone.
5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nassif attacks for 5, dropping Kuroda to 9. And he's got
Tooth
3,
and
6,
Nail.
7, 8,
Massive
9,
speed.
10, 11. He's got 12 mana. Can do anything. Did he draw anything?
I didn't play land yet.
No set.
Oh.
Oh, Cloud Post number 4.
That's 9 mana.
Okay.
Platinum Angel. There it is.
There we go.
Platinum Angel. Kuroda has to kill that and kill him.
There's Fireball and there's Electrostatic Bolt. In the
Yeah,
hand.
There's
Fireball.
Fireball and Electrostatic Bolt.
That is.
Oh no! Masashiro Kuroda makes Gabriel Nassif a very unhappy man. Great game. Masashiro Kuroda takes a 1-0 lead. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back with coverage of game number 2. Hello and welcome to Game 3. Gabriel Nassif has won 1 game. Masashiro Kuroda has won 1 game. I guess they're playing best 2 out of 3 now. Best 3 out of 5 matchup, but it's 1 game apiece. Nassif leads with a Cloud Post on turn 1. Kuroda leads with a Blink Moth.
Classic
Pings
Mishra
over.
opening.
Blink Moth of his own
Bash
for
you.
Nassif, and then he drops a Talisman.
Echoing.
There's Echoing Ruin. Bye-bye Talisman.
No.
No Molten Rain. I think Nassif is probably happier to lose the Talisman than the
Oh, absolutely.
Cloud Post. No
Oh.
third land.
Certainly not happy to do that, though. Especially if there is a Molten Rain in his future.
Kuroda plays the second Blink Moth Nexus. Activates the first one.
That's 8.
Pulse it. Take 2.
Plus 1. Ah, sorry. 17. Go.
No assembly worker requires mana. That screwed me up so long in testing because
Yeah.
I was playing it just like a Flying Mishra, but the fact that the Blink Moth Nexus requires mana. To
Yeah. I actually watched Nassif lose a match.
Because
he lost a game.
he lost the game because he didn't.
He mind-slavered his opponent, and then he had his opponent attack with a Hover Guard that Nassif wanted to trade for his own Blink Moth Nexus. But he only had 1 mana plus the Nexus. You can't turn it into a 2/2. So he actually, controlling his opponent's turn, sent Sombra Hover Guard in, controlling his own turn, activated the Nexus, blocked, and then figured out it wouldn't work. It was unfortunate. He was really embarrassed.
Discards.
He came back to win the match anyway. This is actually the match where he clinched top 8. Nassif discards Oblivion Stone. Not the most exciting of turns.
That's 15. Go.
Blink Moths come over for 15. Nassif slow rolls his draw. Shakes his head. He likes to torture himself, Gabriel Nassif.
Oh.
He'll do the slow roll draw. Oh, he did have the land. He was slow rolling us. It's just no green mana. It's another colorless land. Interesting.
No, I imagine he really wishes he had that Talisman. Sylvan
Yeah.
Scrying, Reap and Sow, all of those are very, very big here. And yet, he's
The
got
mono, you mean the monocolor deck needs colored mana?
shockingly enough.
Yeah. Kuroda keeps chipping away with Blink Moth Nexuses.
That's 13.
Nassif's down to 13, and Kuroda has yet to play a single burn spell.
That can't be good for him.
There's Cloud Post number 2, and that fires up Solemn
Yes.
Simulacrum. So green mana finally on board.
It's not too late.
Hope it's not too late, says Gabriel Nassif. 7 points of Blink
I really
want to
learn to
is
shuffle
such a head
like the
start.
Japanese. that crazy overhand, that's, I mean, the Japanese have amazing deck technology, but they have even more amazing shuffling technology. I really want to learn how to do that.
Is it too late, wondered Gabriel Nassif.
Although I was hanging out with some friends of mine just at a friend's apartment not long ago, and we were just playing cards. And I picked up the deck and started going to count it to make sure it was 52.
Yep.
And I was just thumbing through, and incredibly quickly. Like took me like a few seconds to count the entire deck, and my friends were just sitting there looking at me like stupefied. They're like, "All right."
These are non-Magic playing friends.
Yeah, non-Magic playing friends. And they're like, "If we didn't believe any of that card playing stuff now, you've got us convinced."
It's funny. So Blink Moth took 2 more points away from Nassif. He's down to 11, and Kuroda
11
has
is not
played.
not a safe life total.
And Kuroda's only played 1 spell. All he's done is play an Echoing Ruin.
Echoing Ruin is a brutal one. Does 9.
But he does have double Cloud Post now, right?
He does have double Cloud Post. But I mean, Kuroda has a fistful of spells. Or a fistful of cards, at least. I mean, he could actually just be dead to double Shrapnel Blast.
He's got 7 mana.
That's 11.
Simulacrum attack
Simulacrum
drops
brings the
Kuroda to
beats.
18.
Okay.
Now what? Sylvan Scrying to get Cloud Post number 3. Oh, to get a Forest. My apologies. Sylvan Scrying to get a Forest and Solemn Simulacrum number 2. So 3 Forests, a Stalking Stone, a Nexus, and the 2 Cloud Posts. Sylvan Scrying for a Forest is kind of interesting.
Maybe, I can't see his land right now, but he may need it to. Oh, yep.
Uh-oh. Here comes the burn.
8.
Barbed Lightning to your face. That'll drop Nassif to 8. Kuroda untaps. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. 8 mana now. Plays a Mountain for the turn. Can't quite Fireball him out, but Fireball plus almost anything will get the job done here.
Fireball plus Pulse, Fireball plus Blast, Blast plus Pulse. Boom, boom, boom. Anything?
Apparently it's not obvious. I mean,
No
Nassif
easy
doesn't
math.
have any tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah.
Nassif's at 8, by the way. Our life total show him at 11, but that Barbed Lightning dropped him to 8. And Blake Moth Nexus times 2. They both head over separately.
Oxidize or block?
Nassif has up a Forest and a Blink Moth of his own, so he could block one, but it would be a trade. Could also, in theory, oxidize one. He's not going to mess this math up again.
That would be quite embarrassing.
He was fingering his Blink Moth like he was going to block and pump, but he's 1 mana short of being able to do that. Yeah, in testing, we just discovered that Blink Moth Nexus was too good when it worked like Mishra. Like, for a long time, we did not have that 1 mana on the activation cost, but it was a 4 of in every single one of our decks, and we said, well, I mean, it's kind of a cool card, but we can't let it be too good, so we added the mana, and we still thought it was good enough to play a lot of, so.
It's certainly seeing a lot of play in this tournament.
Meanwhile, Oxidize is taking out one of Kuroda's Blink Moth Nexuses, and Kuroda's thinking, if he has Shrapnel Blast, now's an obvious time. There's an easy artifact to sacrifice.
Boom, boom.
Must have the Shrapnel Blast. I guess he doesn't have a way to finish Nassif off, and he's worried, what happens if I leave him at 2 and then he untaps? Do I need to save my Shrapnel Blast to
He
kill
may
on
need
a
Shrapnel
bonus?
Blast for Angel or a bonus.
Right. I think that's what's going on. He's got the Shrapnel Blast, but he can't do the last 2.
I mean that is one. I mean that is one problem for Kuroda's huge burn component is that yes, I mean he may be able to throw all that burn in his face, but I mean at the point at which he runs out of flexible burn that can kill the angels and a bonus, and just has straight burn that has to go to the dome.
Right, if he's got Pulse of the Forge in his hand, for example, and he uses up his Shrapnel Blast to get Nassif within Pulse range, all of a sudden, Pulse doesn't do anything about Platinum Angel.
Very true.
Interesting. He's taken a long time for this decision.
It seems like he may have to keep his blast. I mean, if he doesn't have another way to remove it a bonus, for instance,
Yeah.
and he has enough burn.
Nassif does now have 9 mana. When he untaps, he'll have 9 lands. Or 9 mana. That's enough for Tooth and Nail with the Entwine.
It is. Yep, he lets it
And
die.
Kuroda holds on to his blast.
Take 1.
Nassif takes 1 from the other Blink Moth, drops himself to 7. Does Kuroda have anything else?
It seems it's on another point. It seems like that's something that Kuroda probably should have thought about before he attacked. Because I mean, in that way, he's absolutely telegraphing to Nassif
I mean, it
that
could
he
be a
has
bluff.
Shrapnel
Maybe
Blast.
he doesn't
could
have
be.
it.
But if he does have it, I mean, you have
Yeah,
you
he
have
should
to-
only... Ideally, you would only sit and think that long if you don't have the Shrapnel
Yeah.
Blast, but you want your opponent to think you do. Now Kuroda's thinking again, so fingering his lands. Nassif just wants to untap. Kuroda's going to have to let him. I'm sure if he could deal 7, he would have done it already.
No.
Says go. So, Nassif untaps.
4 cards.
Yep.
Draws his card for the turn.
Tooth and nail?
He'd already be casting it if he had
Probably.
it, right?
Although he did take a long time casting that last tooth and nail.
I think it's because he had the second Platinum Angel in his hand already. At least that's what I think was going on.
I mean, I still don't see why that would be an enormous decision. I mean, you want the 2-turn clock. I mean, the only thing you'd be considering is what you're going to get.
Right.
But if he doesn't have it, he has to figure out how to use his mana most effectively.
8.
2 Yenses head into the red
14.
zone. Kuroda down to 14 now. What do you got, Nassif?
Slaver.
Slaver's only good if he has a land.
Is it? He only has 9?
He's got 9 right now, but he has not played a land for the turn.
Oh, he only has 2 posts? Yeah.
It's also not clear that Slaver's good enough, because it could be that the instants are enough to kill him.
Well, he can tap him out. I mean...
No, but if, like, you Slaver him and then he pulses, I guess you get to blow all the cards. Oh, that's interesting. Viridian Shaman.
Kill my own Yens.
Kill my own Yens. That's all he's got.
Okay.
That's not the most exciting turn. And that uses up 3 mana. Now it's going to be hard to do a lot. He could still hard cast a Platinum Angel, I guess. Plays a land. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Entwine.
Mindslaver, maybe.
Entwine.
Oh,
Entwine.
Entwine's the Reap and Sow. That's interesting. Blows up
Gonna
the
get
Blink Moth
activate
Factory.
Shrapnel Blast you.
Oh, this is going to fizzle the Reap and Sow, too. There's only 1 target for Reap and Sow, so he doesn't get to resolve the Rampant Growth either.
Go.
But he did make him blow his Shrapnel Blast, so all that thinking about Shrapnel Blast was not a bluff. Nassif expecting to lose, ready to pick up his permanents. Molten Rain for the kill! Wow. Molten Rain off the top finishes off Gabriel Nassif. Wow. Masashiro Kuroda takes a 2-1 lead. He had nothing in his hand. He had to top deck, but he did. 2-1. We'll take a short break. We'll be back for game 4.
I knew you didn't nothing.
Hello and welcome to Game 4 of the Pro Tour Kobe Championship match. I'm Randy Bueller here with Brian Kibler, and Masashiro Kuroda has a 2-1 lead. He's 1 game away from becoming the first Japanese Pro Tour champion ever. Gabriel Nassif trying to win his first Pro Tour in his 4th trip to Sunday, trying to take the lead in the Player of the Year race with his innovative 12-post deck, but he mulliganed down to 6, and he does have a pretty good start, though. He's got Cloud Post on turn 1 and Sylvan Scrying for a second Cloud Post on turn 2. We shall see.
Go.
Kuroda gets the turn for his second turn. Those Molten Rains that we were thinking would be a factor out of the sideboard haven't really come up all that much.
Not just yet. I mean, last game it was the kill spell, but I mean, it might as well have been Pyrite Spellbomb.
True. All 3 games have been really close and tight. They've all come down to the wire.
Absolutely.
Nassif didn't. It's sort of basically come down to Nassif having business or not. All 3 games, he's gotten to 9 mana for Tooth and Nail in time,
Go.
but he's only had the Tooth and Nail once.
I mean, like we were saying when Kai was here. I mean, that's one of the problems with the big spell decks. Oh,
All right, Kuroda.
Molten Rain.
Yes, Molten Rain. There it is.
Well, not 20.
This
Out
is
of the
where,
sideboard.
this is where it can be bad.
Nails a Cloud Post. Nassif's down to 1 Cloud Post, so turn 4, he's only got 3 mana. This is exactly the way Kuroda wants
The
this game to
impact
go.
of that Molten Rain is just enormous. I
It's
mean,
giant.
it's like a double Stone Rain. I mean, and also deals 2 damage, which with the burn plan of Kuroda's deck isn't incidental. Yeah, it's a triple Stone Rain. Shuts down 3 mana.
All Nassif
Beater.
can do is play Viridian Shaman with no artifacts in play. Little beater.
To you.
Barf Lightning to the face.
Up 20.
Kuroda ignoring the Shaman, just going for burn. That'll drop Nassif to 15.
There's another Barb Lightning he can kill.
And here comes arc-slogger. Turn 5 arc-slogger. Everything going the way the Japanese want it to. Masashiro Kuroda has his wife watching from the catwalk. He's from nearby Osaka, Japan.
So nice.
Shares an airport with Kobe, so very much the hometown favorite. Nassif does have Solemn Simulacrum, but even he doesn't like his
that
chances. He's
Arc-slogger
smiling.
is-
He knows how much damage that Arc-slogger can do.
Though Duplicant can come down and get rid of it.
And
But it's gonna
the
kill both
damage will
those
be
and
done,
crack
right?
in.
He
Yeah.
can just remove 40 cards for 8 damage here, and
I mean,
only
he
have
can
7
kill
left
those,
to do.
Kill those 2, crack in for 4, possibly 5 if he activates the Nexus. I mean, or if he has Barb Lightning, one of them and him, shoot 1, attack.
Lots of options. Kuroda actually did not have as much burn as we were expecting in Game 3. He had to top deck to win on the last turn. But he did. It seems like he should have a couple burn cards left.
One would imagine. I mean, he does have Shrapnel Blast and Fireballs and Pulse of the Forge and Barb Lightning.
Points the Arc-slogger at the Shaman. Those 10 cards trade for the 2/2. Is he also going to kill the ends? Seems like an obvious play. And then he can attack with the Slogger. Masashiro Kuroda, very well respected within the Japanese Magic community. A real ambassador for the game in this country.
Take it.
And a lot of
Nassif
people
down
cheering
to
for him.
10.
Nassif's down to 10.
Cards.
4.
4 cards in Kuroda's hand. Nassif is not happy.
Shakes his head. Plays a Forest.
Duplicant,
Does have 6 mana now.
Looking good.
Mindslaver.
Does have the duplicate, so he can remove Arc-slogger for the game, but not before Kuroda activates it 1 or 2 more times.
If he can do.
You are 10.
Yeah, Kuroda's counting his library. You're at 10? Doesn't need any time for these decisions. These are easy. Okay, there's 10 cards. You're at 8.
Passive 8.
Here goes 10 more cards. Who needs a library? I'm going to win 30.
Not a man with 6 points of burn in his hand.
No. $30,000 is the first prize for this tournament.
Fireball.
Masashiro Kuroda. Fireball! Fireball!
Boom!
There it is! Masashiro Kuroda has won the Pro Tour. Wow!
First Japanese
Congratulations.
champions.